Hey everybody, it is CherokeeStarfish, and I'm jumping back into Might and Magic 6. So as we do that, I just want to let everybody know, if you're not already following me or have notifications turned on, it'd be great if you want to go ahead and do that. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube later on, you will find a link in the description to buy the game on GOG, which is probably the best commercially available version of it right now. And so yeah, follow me on Twitter, and if you're watching on YouTube, again, you'll find a link to my Twitch channel down there too. And if you're watching on Twitch, then you'll find a link to Twitter and YouTube below this video. So let's start. Let's see, Zoltan's still drunk from last time. Let's fix that. Oh yeah, so this is the temple. I don't think I went over that before. One or two things. Yeah, like that. Like, Lucy was the one who wound up with this chainmail, and I got super excited about it. And it's like, oh wait, she's the paladin. She specifically is going to get plate mail, so Zoltan gets the fancy chainmail. Yeah. So we're going to get into some of that this time. That's what this episode's going to be about. The temple is where you go to get dead characters resurrected for a price, as you can see, or you can also heal any of your characters for fairly cheap. The price does vary based on the town that you're in. New Sorpigal, being the initial level 1 starting town, is the cheapest, and so later on in the game I actually often come back here with spells like Town Portal, thanks to Sharon, our gate master, and I will spam this temple by healing here for almost nothing, rather than spending hundreds or thousands of gold to heal the party in the middle of an adventure later on. You also see a donate button, and you might wonder what good that does. If you donate, then what happens is right here in your quick reference, you can check your reputation. And the better your reputation, the more people like you, obviously. And so what that means is that some NPCs won't talk to you unless your reputation is respectable or similar. And if you have a bad reputation or infamous reputation, they might not interact with you unless you threaten them, beg them, bribe them, that kind of thing. And so keeping that reputation up has all kinds of benefits, and as you do quests and get further in the game, it'll generally go up unless you do something really bad like start killing NPCs. There's one or two quests, I think, too, like this might be Might and Magic 7, it might be Might and Magic 6, I can't recall, but I think to finish one of the Paladin quests, you have to have a certain reputation score. So alright, so here's what we're going to do. We've got all this money from New World Computing, and we still have a few things to sell too, actually. Because it's so late in the day, I'm not going to fool with that here because some of the shops are going to be closed. But you might remember before that I mentioned it was really important that as soon as we could, we need to get folks a non-magical ranged attack. Part of the reason for that is just because it's great to have a backup. Not everyone is going to be a fantastic spellcaster, but if they've all got bows, then they can always shoot something. And at the beginning of the game especially, unless we pile our points into magic and nothing else, then what that means is even our spellcasters, like Debbie the sorceress over here, are going to be a little bit more effective with a bow and arrow than they are with their firebolts and their cold beams and so forth. So we're going to take this money and we're going to invest it, first things first, in some skills for our characters.
It's closed.
Oh. Stable closes at 6 p.m. I forgot.
Hello, come on in.
Debbie's going to have a drink with the bartender.
Coming right up. Enjoy your stay.
Of course, spending the night at the inn also means that everything's healed. Most status effects go away. You know, traditional RPG magic healing pillows. Oh, Lord. Every stable has a different schedule, and usually there's an NPC somewhere in town that will tell you what that schedule is. Now, I could just walk to Castle Iron Fist, which is where we're going, but it would cost 5 food, and it also takes 5 days. So, if we only rest a couple of days... There we go. See, so we're actually going to turn a little bit of a net profit on time here.
Hitch up the horses.
Okay, so... Welcome to Castle Iron Fist. Castle Iron Fist is the capital of Enroth, and we won't forget our magic horseshoes.
Hello,
Ah, see, here we go. I mentioned this last time too. This should go down in our notes as well. The expert plate. The expert skill trainers tell you where the masters are, but you have to ask NPCs about where the experts themselves are. Is she gonna be okay? Stephanie the Ditch Digger. Well, oh, she's getting up there. She's doing it. Come on, Stephanie. What? Well, as entertaining as it might be to watch this all day, for me at least, I don't know about the rest of you, but I hope that she makes it. Yeah, thank you, yes, I believe in her too. I believe one day she'll make it. Good job, Stephanie, you keep trying. So, anyway, yeah, every town, of course, has got different skills available, different shops, so some of these, we're going to have characters like this guy who, you know, he's got the usual trivia, and he's got a guild membership to sell us, which we'll go ahead and grab because we're going to need that one specifically here in just a moment. And he even has a quest. He wants a harp returned. It was stolen from his caravan. And the Dragoons, which, unlike the Final Fantasy version, these are bad guys. So we'll deal with them a little bit later. So right here is Berserker's Fury. This is where we were going. Let's see. It is almost 7 o'clock, so we'll wait an hour. There we go. Now, Berserker's Fury is a guild. We've not gone into one of these yet.
Ready to learn something new?
Yes, we are. So, here you can see each one of these guilds teaches you a different set of skills. Here at Berserker's Fury, you can learn bow, shield, repair item, chain, plate, because this is a combat guild. And so, some of these skills are going to cost a little bit less or a little bit more, but now this right here has been adjusted, I believe, because of Greyface's fan patch that I'm using. Normally, skills cost pretty much the same regardless of where you get them, and usually weapon skills are about 2,000, armor skills are 1,000, magic skills are about 2,000, and then miscellaneous skills tend to be 500. Here, something has made them all 500, and I believe it's that patch, which is great for us because that just means in this run, even though technically that's not the vanilla pricing, we're going to spend less money. And yes, Hagrid's brother is the guildmaster, Robert, here. So, first things first, we're going to do what we came to do. Tommy.
That will be useful.
Yeah, it will. Debbie.
That will be useful.
Lucy.
That will be useful.
And Zoltan.
That will be useful.
Now, eventually, we'll rank that up, and we will have all of them become masters at the bow skill, which will be great. And that will really help to extend our life in the dungeon because we won't be pumping out quite so many spells. And let's see. Oh, I forgot druids could actually learn the shield skill. That might have been in his free pool at the beginning, but since he's using staves and those are two-handed weapons, So let's see. While we're here, we're going to grab plate for her.
That will be useful.
And we're going to grab chain for him.
That will be useful.
And you can see now we've only spent 3,000 gold, so we've got plenty of a ways to go. Now somebody probably needs repair, and since it's only 500, we're going to grab that too. But first, there we go. Now Zoltan being a cleric, he's not quite as squishy as his mom Debbie over here, or as their hobo friend, but you can see that's a big game changer here at his AC. That's going to extend our ability to wade into melee like a lot. Now, let's see. We have to decide who to give the repair skill to. We want to keep things kind of balanced because your skill points are universal and they have to be spread out between all 4 of these groups. And so that means that, you know, the more skills that one character has, the harder it is to spread those out and to keep all of them at a reasonably good level. And some things we're going to want to put levels in a lot quicker. Like, for example, I mentioned before that if you reach master level training with the sword skill, you can dual wield. That's why Lucy doesn't get the shield skill. And so we're going to want to pump skill points into sword for her pretty early on and in kind of a pretty hefty way. She's already got perception and disarm trap too, and eventually she's going to pick up body magic and mind magic over here. So now she's got plate, she's got bow, she's already kind of getting it piled up. Zoltan is going to have 5 magic skills. Debbie is going to have 5 magic skills. Oh, I'm sorry, he'll have 4. She will have 5. And we still have to get her leather armor as well. So we're going to have to decide who gets the repair skill.
Ready to learn something
I kind of want to
new.
keep this in character too. So let's see. We know Debbie's the party girl. She's a talker. We know that Lucy... Lucy notices things. She handles the rough stuff. I feel like she's a fix-it mom. She's going to have fewer magic skills than any of the others. In the end, even though she's got plate armor and swords and everything else, I feel like probably she's going to be our repair person. So, unless you guys have got any objections, okay then. Alright, yeah, so repair for Lucy.
That will be useful.
Awesome. Alright. Now, ooh, hey.
Hello.
A banker. Ah. Now, this is really handy. See, Joan the Banker up here, who I've always felt like this character portrait kind of looks like a young Bette Midler. Although she's randomly generated, all of these walking around in town are, but that means that they recycle the number of portraits that they have. Bankers are great because just as each of these different kinds of NPCs does a different job, what a banker does is they increase how much money you make. So a factor, which is the lesser version of this, they increase how much money you make by about 5%, I think. A banker increases it by 10%. Now, you'll see here about 10% of the gold you earn, and she takes about 10% as well. And yeah, they're the opposite of an actual banker. They make it for you instead of stealing it. And here we go. See, she pays for herself. This it's a little garbled. It doesn't come through correctly. But you'll see here she increases a 20% bonus on all gold found, and she takes 10% of it. So that means that you pay her 10% and then you make an additional 10% over that. So you're actually turning a profit by hiring her. And it would cost 1,000 gold to do that, but that would also help to partially mitigate how much Sharon is taking. So that's a thought, actually. Running into her, this could be a significant investment. What do you guys think? Because there are so many different NPCs that we could have with us. Should we take Joan along, do you think, for 1,000 gold? And she'll help us to kind of reduce Sharon's cut. Take the money. Okay. Alright, Joan, welcome to the team. So there's Joan. Oh, and you'll also notice that in here in the Berserker's Fury Guild, you notice that even though Sharon is part of the party, technically, she is an NPC hireling, which is why we give her a cut. And so, she's not down here one of the fighting party. She's just following along, she's hanging out in camp, and occasionally she casts Town Portal. And beyond that, I don't know what she does. I guess she eats our food and is fabulous. I suppose. That's what I get from this picture. So, she she kind of disdains the archery lessons. She's not going to help us fight, even though obviously she's a master of water magic with her town portal spell. So she doesn't get the bow skill. Only these 4 went to archery classes. Alright, let's see. Okay, so now we've got several skills. First thing we need to do is, now that everybody's got the bow skill, we need to give them something to shoot.
I don't know.
So we picked up that free crossbow in New World Computing. That's 1 bow. We're going to need 3 more before we leave, and that's what we need to be spending our money on, as well as some more skills.
Don't touch the merchandise.
So let's see. This is an armor shop, so obviously they're not going to have a bunch of bows. On the other hand, the Eagle's Eye, this shop actually is not just a weapon shop, it specializes in bows, which is another reason that we come here to Iron... Stop doing that. So that way we can pick up the skill, and then we can immediately furnish all of our characters with something that they can use that skill along with. Alright, so we briefly popped into some shops last time, but I want to take a moment here, and Merlin the Blacksmith is going to host us. As I point out, this is how the shops work. We got buy, sell, identify, repair, and special. Now, each of these does pretty much what it says on the tin. Identify, they'll charge you a fee, and they'll identify any items of their type, in his case weapons, that are unidentified in your inventory. And repair, of course, is the same thing except for broken items. Now, there's no item durability that I know of unless it's a hidden number, but items can be broken, like armor can break when an enemy strikes you with a critical hit. Weapons can break when you strike an enemy that has certain special defenses, and so forth. So that's one of the reasons why Lucy needed the repair skill. Now, sell, of course, is you can sell things that are in your inventory, like these clubs, this dagger, so forth. And if you buy, he's going to show you his regular inventory. Special. Special is similar to buy, except that occasionally a shop will have something like this. Now, this is still a relatively low-level area, so he's mostly going to have the most basic of, like, bows and crossbows. This is a second-tier bow, and so for him this is a special item. What happens in the special section is occasionally items will spawn where it's like 1 level higher than the shop is supposed to sell, or it might have an enchantment. Now, of course, later on at higher level magic or weapon shops and so forth, some of the regular items, just because of the level of the area, will have magic anyway, but special will have better enchantments overall. There's not a lot of difference between a crossbow and a longbow. Both of them give you no bonus to hit, but the longbow deals 1 more die of damage, so its minimum damage is higher and its potential maximum's a little higher. But this is what we want to invest in, because we want the best we can get starting out. We're going to buy 2 of these, and she's already got a crossbow. Since there's not a lot of difference between these two, we're only going to buy 1 of his longbows. We don't want to spend too much money.
Come again.
Alright, so we have to figure out who's going to be the best archer. Let's see. Accuracy is really important. 30, 30, 31, 31. Okay, it looks like these two, but only by a bit. But we know Lucy here. She's very perceptive. She's got a keen eye. We're going to give her one of the elven bows. And you know what? I think Debbie, for all she's fun, but at the same time, she also is a mom. So she can be trusted with this. She's carrying the quest items anyway. And let's see. We're going to give Zoltan this bow. This is baby's first starter bow. He's still learning. And then this unidentifiable trash crossbow that deals minimum damage, the worst bow in the game. We're going to give that to Tommy. Tommy finds a lot of stuff in the trash. He doesn't know what any of this is. Okay. Now, we've got a couple of other shops around here that we can visit.
How are ya?
See, she teaches expert bow and tells us where the master bowman is. So this is great too because we know this is kind of our bow stop, at least at the beginning of the game. Oh, join the Mine Guild too. We only have to buy those memberships one time, so each time that we find them, since they're relatively inexpensive, we want to stock up on those.
Hello.
Right now, I'm just kind of scouting around to see what other resources we can pick up, so we only have to make one trip here. Now, this little cluster of houses over this way, these are armor experts, chain, leather, shield, and so forth. So, again, we don't want to spend too much of our money. And we'll be back here later on, so I'm going to save a tour of Castle Iron Fist for another time. Instead, we need to head back to New Sorpigal because we did what we came here to do. And there are some other skills that we can grab elsewhere. We want to go and get those.
Need a ride?
So we're going to head back to New Sorpigal.
Hitch up the horses.
Alright. Now we have some guild memberships here as well. So now we're going to go and we're going to check out what those guilds have to offer us. We've been to Berserker's Fury. This is Blade's End.
What are you looking at?
Now, they teach some weapon and armor skills as well. And you'll see, based on someone's class, they're offered a different list because each guild offers specifically like a particular list of skills. And so if a character based on their class has learned everything off of that guild's skill list that they can, they're going to say, we can offer you nothing. Although, in this case, I think, yeah, just like we gave the trash bow to our trash son, I think Dalamar here is just letting Tommy know that he doesn't want to deal with him. Oh, thank you, Debbie, for the eye roll at that, yes. Okay, so, Debbie the Sorceress. Again, because this is a base level guild, skills are a little bit cheaper, so we're going to give her leather armor.
That will be useful.
That is the best armor that sorcerers can wear, so we want to make sure that she's got it. Let's see. Speared leather, staff, and leather. He doesn't need any of that. Now, we still need plate armor for her. We'll have to find some place to get that. Now, this is the Buccaneer's Lair. They're only open at night, so we'll have to come back here a little bit later. Really like to get the plate armor skill for her. Let's see, where could we do that? I don't want to show my hand too early by going around a whole bunch of places and looking everywhere, but she really does need an armor skill. Otherwise, when we go into a dungeon, all we're going to be doing is keeping her alive. And I would hate to pick up a nice suit of plate mail and then her not be able to use it. So, I know that we can't learn plate from the Buccaneer's Lair. Let's find some place that we can. So this is Freehaven. I'm not going to show you around too much right now because, again, much like with Iron Fist, we'll come back here later. I just want to focus on...
You'll have to sign up first.
There we go, the Duelist's Edge. That's the other place that we need to find a membership to.
Greetings.
Here we go. Look at that, it's almost like I knew where it was. Thank you, Winston Historian, the Squire. Winston Historian? That sounds made up. It really does.
What do you need?
So, this way, I'm only showing you just a little bit. Oh, rats. They don't have plate mail either. They have bodybuilding. I might have to buy her that if we can't find the plate skill. And there's this wonderful armor shop where... See, we can buy plate armor, but she can't wear it without the skill. You know Sharon, don't you? Claire, the Watermaster. Oh, fine. Fine, leave. Huh. Oh! That's why it's not popping up anywhere, because we already purchased that skill. Well... No salt in the chat, please. Thank you for... Yeah, rip me. I think I just bought it at the other guild, too, because I knew what I was going in there for and just snagged it up. So I just played at the Berserker's Fury.
Finest weapons in the land.
Well, it is what it is, I guess. Okay, so we've got most of our skills. Since I teleported to Freehaven anyway, I'm going to go ahead and snap up a couple of small things. We might as well spend some of the rest of this money on gear upgrades, because we're going to need it. I don't want to buy too much, but I do want to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that we're here and pick up a couple of things that I know will help us. So I'm going to grab a dagger upgrade for Debbie. I'm going to grab a sword upgrade for Lucy, too. This Crusader sword, let's see, that's 3d3 plus 6. You have to use Dungeons and Dragons numbers in here. This is 2d4 plus 5. So, let's see, that's going to be 2 to 8 versus 3 to 9. Okay, so that Crusader sword is a little bit better. We'll grab one of those for her.
Come again.
There we go. That way she can get rid of this unidentified broadsword that's not any good. Oh, dagger. There we go. Now, dagger is similar to sword. You can dual wield when you get to a high enough level, but you can do that at expert instead of at master, so you get it a lot earlier. I'm kind of tempted to go back in and
Weapons in the land.
maybe buy this for her so that when she gets it, well, no, we'll worry about it later. I don't want to spoil everything and run out of useful loot to find. So, let's see. There is a magic shop right here on the way to this tavern.
Looking for something special?
Possibly. Ooh. There are different levels of potions, as we've already seen. You can mix the basic colored potions to make second level potions, and then you mix those to make white potions, which are powerful temporary effects. Black potions are permanent, and they're the strongest kind, but they usually come with some kind of a price. Now, rejuvenation does not, because, well, okay, now you can see that it does. Removes all magical aging effects, subtracts 1 from all 7 primary statistics, so it kind of has a price, but But, you can be magically aged in this game, and the older you get, the lower some of your physical stats and things go down. And things like ghosts will age you with fear effects, which is important. And here we go. Now you can see our first magical rings and so forth. Not all of them are, but these alchemist shops are great because you can find a variety of different enchantments, different accessories and things here. You can find scrolls, of course, but one of my favorite things is you can find spell books here. And when you find a spell book, it's always going to be cheaper in an alchemist shop than it is at the guild. So if we went to the Air Guild, they would sell us protection from electricity, but it would probably be 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 gold, whereas, you know, Brenda here is going to sell it for 900. Oh. Oh my. That is the best kind of helmet in the game. And I'm very tempted to buy that with the last of our money. Very tempted. She has quite a few decent stuff. See, like this, we can't afford this. This is a great enchantment for a paladin, because might increases Lucy's strength, personality increases her spirit magic, and so forth. Let's see. Ring of Precision. Plus 9 might. Well, so let's see. No, you know what? Do you know what we should really do? What we should really do? we should go ahead and, to make certain that we get the most out of all of this stuff that we're carrying, this trash, as much as I would love to purchase this, there will be more of these later. What we should really probably do is we should find someone to give Debbie the merchant skill. We need identify and a couple of other basic things like that, but I think that's what we should do next. The merchant skill is what allows us to buy and sell at a better value, and eventually even at cost. Let's see.
Hello.
Oh, another gate master. This is handy because if we ever need one for sure, an NPC who has a house will return to that house if you fire them from the party. So Wilma right here is always there, so if we ever need a gate master desperately, we can come to Freehaven and get one in case we have to let Sharon go. And I'm not going to drink from that well because I know that it's poisoned. Our jewels are yellow. There's something out here that they don't want to fight because this is a higher level area. Hey, Chadwick. You'll be useful later, maybe. Okay, so... I hate to pay that price when I could sleep in the street, but you know. Haha. Alright, this is Silver Cove. Silver Cove has...
Closed.
There we go. Protection services. This is, I think, the last of the guilds that we haven't joined other than specific magical guilds. So, see, the Elemental Guild sells all 4 of the different kinds of elemental magics, but they sell lower level ones, and they sell them at slightly reduced prices, I think. The Self Guild is the same. They sell mind, body, and spirit magic, but you can't get, like, some of the higher level spells there. Then Buccaneer's Lair, Blade's End, so forth, all of those, you know, they have a mishmash of different weapon and armor skills. The only actual magic guild we've joined that's not one of these mishmash guilds is the Mind Guild. That's where you have to go to get specific high-level mind spells later in the game, and to kind of know what you're getting, because since, for example, the Self Guild has 3 kinds of magic, that means that you can never really be sure of what their inventory is going to look like, whereas the Mind Guild, the lowest level one is always going to have first and second tier spells. You can be pretty sure of what you're going to find. The middle tier one is going to have middle tier spells, and so on. So, Protection Services is the last of these mishmash skills that we haven't joined.
Closed.
Oh, Lord. I forgot. Most shops open at 6 in the morning, but alchemists sleep in. So, nobody's using an axe. Ooh, hey. Check that out. We might come back and get that in a minute, but before we purchase anything else, we need to get that merchant skill, which means we need to find someone to sell us a membership to Protection Services. This mysterious house, there's nothing there. There's a door painted there, but I think they forgot to code it in or something, and so you can't actually click on it. This one, too. There's only a few of those, but they're around. Alright, let's see. I'm going to kind of rush through this because, again, I'm not really giving a tour of Silver Cove. That will come later. Oh, Lord.
How are you today?
So this Jack Black looking guy is one of the Hugger brothers. They're... the Hugger brothers appear kind of like all through the game. They're scattered across different maps, and they always... It's the same guy in the same hat, and he's making a variety of crazy faces or sticking his tongue out, crossing his eyes, whatever, drooling on himself. And so, I mean, they don't function any differently from anyone else of their profession. So if you need a locksmith or a stonecutter or whatever, then it's fine. They're just a little more fun. We'll leave him to it.
How are you today?
No, I don't think that brother is their last name. They are together, like as a group, they are the Hugger brothers. So Hugger is actually their name. And there's just more than one of them, and they're just referred to as the Hugger brothers. So, there's some decent chainmail, but not as good as we have. Thank you, New World Computing. Since we're here anyway. I didn't do this in Freehaven, and I should have, because the stable's actually right there at the center of town where we teleported to, but I don't want to cheese the game too much, I guess. Let's see.
Hello. How are you?
Some of these places I kind of know like the back of my hand, and then others I'm never 100% sure. Like, I know that drinking from that is a bad idea right now. We'll come back to it.
Hello.
But there are some places where, or certain NPCs, I guess is more accurate, where I don't always, oh, here's our first master skill trainer. I don't always recall exactly where they are because they're sort of insignificant in the scheme of things. That's Berserker's Fury. I think he's around here.
How are you?
Master of Mind. This is the Master of Body Magic.
How are you today?
Light Guild membership. Later. Light magic is very powerful, but we can't even learn it right now, I don't think.
How are you today?
She's a light magic expert. And if we could learn it, we couldn't afford the spells, so it doesn't matter. Now, we will join the Earth Guild. We might as well, since that's only 50.
How are you today?
Guild of the Self, we're a member.
How are you?
She has a quest. Oh, yes, this is where Cedric Druthers, head of the Celestial Order, which are evil druids, they're fighting the good druids, and they've taken over an ancient place sacred to druids. And so she wants you to go and kick his ass, basically. Which we'll do at a later date.
Hello.
Oh, see, he looks like a Hugger brother. It's the same guy, but notice he looks sane. So he's Graham Dancy, the barrister.
How are you?
Now, on the other hand, here's another Hugger brother right next to him, which I'm sure is deliberate. Chimney Sweep's one of my favorites. Get out of my way. People are so rude here.
Hello.
Didn't I just talk to you?
How are you?
Master Merchant Training, that's great, but I would like to have basic merchant training first.
How are you?
Debbie, I'm starting to get tired of your voice.
How are you today?
Expert Meditation. This is the Guild of the Self. Adept Guild of the Self.
How are you? How are you today? Hello.
There we go. Lucky Oster, the burglar.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Yes, thank you. You're too kind. Oh yes, this fantastically, I love this lesbian couple. Reve Batania, she's the master of earth magic, so she's the most powerful earth mage in Enroth, theoretically at least. And she's just, I want to stress that I don't know off the top of my head, but I think that this game came out right around the same time as Batman the Animated Series, because this game was released in 1998. Now, Harley Quinn was created for Batman the Animated Series, but even though I think that a lot of fans shipped them together, she and Poison Ivy didn't become an official couple until way later on, many, many, many years in the future. So I just want to point out that Might and Magic 6 took the opportunity to kind of slip this in here and predict the future a little bit, and they told you so. If you're somehow watching this video in 1998, I just want to let you know, Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, yeah, New World Computing called it. New World Computing called it 20 years ago.
Hello.
Okay, I don't know why I'm still going into people's houses. I got what I came for. So here we go. We're going to go back to protection services. And it is almost 8 in the morning. My goodness gracious. Well, we might as well poke our heads in here. Yeah, that's the bad habit of a protagonist. Just go barging into people's houses and rifling through their drawers and lifting up their tablecloths, turning vases over, smashing things, looking for treasure.
Closed.
Oh my god, is it not 8 yet? Now it's 8.
Hurry up, I don't have all day.
Shut up. I hate this guy's voice and his attitude. I just wanted to poke my head in here and kind of see what he had to offer us. And really, it's not a whole lot, so that's okay. A belt of speed. That's alright, I just wanted to check since we got to wait around anyway. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm polite, so I'm going to go over here out of the street, kind of behind this building next to the castle, and I'm going to wait. And I'm going to wait until 6 p.m. when Protection Services is going to be open.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, knowing looks and glances. Need I say more? Know what I mean, know what I mean?
Thank you for that beautiful Monty Python reference. Now, they teach diplomacy, identify item, perception, disarm trap. And so that means a couple of different things. First of all, these are great skills to have. We want somebody to have at least identify item for sure. Debbie's already got diplomacy. Lucy already has perception and disarm trap. Nobody else needs leather armor. Everybody's got their armor skills at this point. So we're going to get identify item here. And let's see who... yeah, Luigi the Guildmaster. Have you met my brother Mario? Thank you, yeah. Now, well, and you'll notice here, he's in deep cover because he's the one in green. Ah, see? You wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't pointed that out. Luigi is the one in green. So, like, he's sunk all the way in this persona. So, so let's see. So who should have identify item? We know Debbie's got diplomacy. She's the sorcerer. Lucy has got repair, disarm, and perception. So, Zoltan and Tommy don't have any skills yet. I could make a case for, Tommy, he lives in the garbage. He's probably used to finding stuff and kind of figuring out what it does, hacking away at it. But also, I feel like he probably doesn't care. He just picks stuff up and puts it on, and he doesn't know what it does. If it does something, he just... Damn it, Tommy. Zoltan, I think we decided he's kind of bookish and artsy. So he would be a good candidate for identify item as well. He's going to have a lot of magic skills, but probably, although we'll get him meditation for sure later on, he may or may not pick up learning, if any of them do. He might get bodybuilding later on because he's the cleric. We want him to live. But he's got room for a miscellaneous skill or two, and his moms are already starting to get loaded down. So what do you say that we give Zoltan identify item? He probably knows what some of this shit is from, reading his books, right? Makes sense? Okay. Alright, well then, Zoltan, welcome to your new life as the party identifier.
Without it.
There we go. So now, he can take things like this, and you'll see because he only has one rank in the skill, he doesn't know what this is, doesn't know what this is, but I bet he'll know what this is.
I don't know.
Oh, you disappoint me.
Ah.
There. Now he knows what that is. And you'll hear him, oh, yeah, I recognize that. Or like maybe this mace.
Ah.
And if it's the higher your identify skill is and the higher your level is, the less impressed the person with the identify skill gets with crappy low-level gear. And I love that. So what that means is that when he's got like identify master and he's level 30 something, and he goes to identify something like this hammer or this shield, you'll sometimes see him make a face where he kind of and he'll roll his eyes and sort of shrug in his character portrait like, I don't know what it's a dagger. We've known what these are for 30 levels. I don't know what you want me to say about it. And I appreciate that. Now, I said there's a couple of things to do with protection services. The other thing that means when I showed you the skill list is, got that. So now, let's see. I think, yeah, she's town portaled out, so this is the temple. Huh. Doodly 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 doo. Let's go find an inn to stay at. It is over here. Unless you're going to take me home. Oh, that's right, it's 6 p.m.
I suppose you'll be wanting service.
I guess. You know, I'm not going to spend another 40 gold on you. That's ridiculous. I'm going back to New Sorpagal anyway. So I'm just going to wait until dawn. And bless their hearts, they were up all night. Look at that. Lucy especially. It's like Debbie kept her up all night. And Debbie looks like she knows she did something wrong. But she's not really tired. She's not really exhausted. And Tommy's kind of the same way. He's just like, shame on y'all. But poor Lucy and Zoltan, man, Debbie kept them up all night, and they bless their hearts. So, yeah. We're going to town portal back to New Sorpagal now. And we're going to stay at the inn here. Because here, the inn costs 3 gold.
Enjoy your stay.
So there we go. Alright, now we've got one more stop to make. And that stop is right here. Doodly doodly, wait until 6 o'clock. Here we go.
Look who's here.
And now we're going to get the merchant skill, which is actually at the Buccaneer's Lair, not protection services. I know. I'm sorry. I thought that's where it was, and I forgot, because we came here earlier and they were closed. So after we left, it was like, eh. And yeah, that doesn't. He kind of looks like Luigi again. Okay, there we go. Now, that's the last skill that we needed for the moment. So we're good, and it's very inexpensive here because this is New Sorpagal. Thank you, Fan Patch. Thank you, Grey Faces Fan Patch. So now she's got the merchant skill. The merchant skill, see, adjust shop prices in your favor. So that means that you can buy low and sell high. The better her rank in the merchant skill, as kind of like with Disarm Trap and Lucy, as long as we're clicked on her and she's the active character, she can sell things for closer to what they're worth, and she can buy things at a drastically reduced price.
Hello, come on in.
See right here, look. We can already rent this room for 2 gold, just with 1 rank in merchant.
Enjoy your stay.
That's a lot better. Alright, so now, because of that, it's time to sell all of our garbage. And we're going to give that garbage to Debbie to sell, because she's the one with the merchant skill. Let's see. There we go. Do a little inventory rearrangement. This game is great about giving you backpack space based on the size and shape of, items in the game, but one thing that I wish that it did do just a little bit better is I wish that they had thought to put in something kind of along the lines of like Titan Quest or Grim Dawn, where the backpack has like an organizational button. You hit something and it just all moves around to fit. That, I won't say that was beyond the technology of the time, but I will say that other games at the time, like Diablo, didn't do it either. So.
Looking for a weapon. weapon.
Alright, so now we're at the blacksmith. We're going to sell these. See, look. Now, as opposed to what he said before, usually I try to buy something like this dagger for 2 gold, so I'll give you 2 gold for it. He's not cheating us nearly as much. See, look at this one. He usually buys longswords for 14, but he'll give us 19, because Debbie is smooth. And right here, I can see it's worth 1 gold, which is normally what he does his best to buy club for, so that's all they'll ever really be worth. Alright. Now we'll double check in here and just see if he's got anything else worth our while, and it doesn't look like he does. I know I'm going fast with some of this stuff because I recognize a lot of these weapons by sight, and I know kind of what their basic stats are, loosely what they do. If you guys ever see me going through a shop or something, and there's an interesting looking item that I don't click on, or you want me to right click on something so you can see what's in there, just let me know. Just say in the chat and I'll gladly kind of pause.
Don't touch the merchandise.
Let's see. Oh, there's a halfway decent shield. This one has 2 less armor, but it has 5 fire resistance. Ooh. Alright. Sell that. Cloaks, because they offer an armor bonus, you can actually sell those to either armor smiths or to alchemists because they count as accessories.
Oh no.
So, let's see. We only have 1 person using a shield. I would buy that for him, but we're about to face some level 1 monsters, and I mean, he's already got that super chainmail, so I think he's fine.
Come back soon.
So let's see. 607. Now, alchemists, they don't open until 8. So again, we're just going to wait a couple of hours. We're going to see Wilma.
Find anything?
Oh. Okay. Neither of these is magical, so we'll ditch them as well. Made a nice little bit of money. Now, spell scrolls, much like in games like D&D or in most games that borrow from the same conceit, are single-use spellcasting items. So you can spend these to cast a spell 1 time, and then it's used up. I have no idea what these are. I can tell you this is like a level 1 or tier 1 spell because of the kind of paper they're using and how crappy it looks. This is kind of a 2nd level spell, but I don't know what's written on them because Zoltan's not quite good enough to identify them. However, at this early stage of the game, I don't think it matters because generally speaking, low-level spells, it's not worth keeping scrolls of them. And mid-level spells, those could be things like jump, sparks, possibly even something like water walking, but I don't think that we're really going to need it. It's only worth 19 gold anyway. Alright, that clears out our inventory. Oops. So, let's take a really quick look at what we've got now. Alright, so Tommy has his staff skill that he started with. We've taught him to use a bow, and he's got his crappy crossbow. He's got his leather armor. He's got some earth and body magic. Debbie knows how to use a bow now as well, and she has got the leather armor skill. She has learned how to be a merchant, so she is engaging in capitalism. Lucy has picked up plate and bow, and we've also given her repair item, and Zoltan's learned how to identify things, and he's learned how to become an archer as well. Guys, I think that we're ready to get started. I think that we're ready to really jump into this adventure. So we're going to kick this off by spending these horseshoes really quick. Now, you might recall before I mentioned in the last video that each of these horseshoes is worth 2 skill points to whomever it's used on. So that means that we've got 12 skill points here. I say we spend them. So, since this is the very beginning of the game, we're about to go out on a quest. I'm going to say probably armor and weapon skills and maybe magic skills are the place to spend them. Miscellaneous skills over here are not going to be as useful, although of course more ranks and disarm trap is always more better. So, I'm going to let you guys decide where we should put these skill points and on whom. I will tell you the way the skill ranks work is it takes a number of skill points to achieve a new rank equal to the rank you want to achieve. So that means these are level 1. To reach level 2 in a skill, it will take 2 skill points. To reach level 3, it takes 3. To reach level 4, it takes 4, and so on. So the cost increases by 1 every time you level a skill up. Since everybody's skills are all level 1, that means that each one of these will raise a single skill to level 2. Yeah, very few people are going to hit much with that few ranks in bow. In fact, we can look over here. Now, last time we looked at this screen, these 4 rows right here were abysmal. You'll notice that they have gotten a lot better. We've jumped up from -1 and -2 to hit, or +0 to hit, to +10, +12, +13. We're doing 11 to 17 damage, or 16 to 22 damage, 7 to 12 damage, instead of like 2 to 4 damage. So that's great. We're off to a good start. But more ranks is more better. Alright, we're going to take everyone to rank 2 in bow. Okay, well, we'll start there. So, we'll see, we got our little jingle and our little sparkles there. Oh, he's so happy. He's a happy Tommy. Smile for us, my boy Zoltan. There we go. Such a winning smile. Alright, so now you can see, here's our skill points up here in green. And notice that all the skills are highlighted in blue now. Any skill that's highlighted in blue means that you have sufficient skill points banked to raise that at least 1 rank. So if I click on it, there we go. It spends all of his skill points. His bow is now level 2. And you'll see here in the bottom, you need 3 more skill points to advance here. So let's go ahead. And if you see me going back and forth like I'm doing now without going down to click on them, you can use the number keys 1 through 4 to switch between party members. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, we've got 2 left. That's a total of 4 skill points. So we can raise 2 more first level skills to rank 2. Or we could potentially raise one of the rank 2 skills to rank 3 and so forth. Armor skills, that's probably a good idea. Especially because right now, keep in mind, Debbie knows how to use leather armor and Lucy knows how to wear plate armor, but neither of them have any armor. Tommy's got his leather and Zoltan's now got his chain, so... and his shield, of course, too. Disarm, trap, and identify, get loot faster. Okay, yeah, also a good plan, actually. Change your... okay. Alright, looks like identify and disarm. Okay, so... oop, I've got to use the... there we go, make sure I put them on the right person. Identify level 2. Disarm trap level 2. Alright, so... fewer traps to worry about. Let's see now if that changed anything.
Aha!
Ah, oh, and did you see him make the face?
I don't know.
Okay, so he still doesn't know what that hammer is or what kind of hammer it is. But he recognizes that shield. Let's see if we have anything else. Ah, Mom Debbie's boots.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't recognize leather boots? I'm disappointed in you. I bet he recognizes this crossbow.
Ah.
There, now you can tell Tommy what it is. He's so unimpressed with Tommy's crossbow. I love it. There is not a maximum cap to skill level that I know of, actually. I have gotten to ridiculously high levels in this game, like way higher than you need to be to actually beat the game. And I have had skills as high as probably 20 or even 30 ranks. Now, keep in mind, that is hundreds of skill points, because each time it increases by 1, so that means to get to 30, I had to spend 30 ranks to get from 29 to 30, so that means I spent 29 to get to rank 29, 28 to get to 28, and so forth, all the way back down to level 1. So you're talking about multiple hundreds of skill points by the time you get a skill to rank 20 or 30. I think the highest I've ever seen a skill get to might be rank 35 or 40. When my parents played this way back in the day when it was new, Mom and Dad did some level grinding. They played together and would switch off on who controlled mouse and keyboard. It was adorable, and they got some skills up to pretty astronomically high levels. I think I remember that being like 35, 40, maybe even 50 ranks in something like dark magic. It was kind of ridiculous. But I'm not sure. So as far as I'm aware, there's not a maximum cap. Now, there is a maximum effectiveness because each of these, you'll see like, normal, expert, and master. If a skill keeps increasing, with ranks, you're going to see diminishing returns on some of these, like with the merchant skill. Once you have master, it triples the effect of the skill. So having 10 ranks, you treat it as though you've actually got 30 ranks. So when you have 30 ranks in merchant, it treats it like you have 90. And long before you get to 90 actual real ranks in the merchant skill, you're going to be buying and selling at the best possible values. So there is a plateau where it stops being useful to improve certain skills, and that varies by skill. See, leather, because it adds directly to your armor class at the basic level, is always useful to keep putting skills in. Bow, the skill is added to your attack bonus, so it directly improves your attack roll. Dagger is added to your attack roll. Your chance to cause triple damage is equal to your skill if you're a master in dagger, so you get a critical hit ability. And if you've got 30 ranks in dagger, you have a 30% chance with every hit to crit. So different spell or skills are more useful to keep pumping points into. Others, like diplomacy and merchant, they kind of peter out, and usually what I do is, for something like merchant, I'll put the minimum number of ranks in it that's required to achieve master level in that skill, and then kind of call it quits. Alright, kids. So, I've saved the game. We've got bows and arrows. We've got some armor. We need some more armor. We've got weapon upgrades and things. I think it's time to go adventuring. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by clearing out some fields here around town and getting rid of the monsters that live here for the good people of New Sorpagal. Oh, see, there's some goblins. And this is why the bow skill is a great thing. Because you can click endlessly and never hit. No, because we can kill all of these guys before they get to us and never spend a single spell point. And that is an ability that remains useful throughout the game regardless of how many ranks in magic you have or how many spell points you have. And let's see. Here we go.
Aha!
Aha! A wooden shield.
Ah.
Ooh, a helmet. Okay, let's see who's got the lowest AC. 43, 14, 11. Okay, well, I think we know who gets this helmet. This is going to be a great look for Debbie. Are you guys ready? I love it. Oh, here's something fun. So, sometimes, just like you can encounter treasure that you can pick up, just like you can encounter fountains you can drink from, or shrines and similar stuff that'll give you bonuses, you can find these barrels of mysterious colored liquid. Nobody knows what these liquids are. We only know what they do. So, I invite you to decide in your own mind precisely what is in this barrel before we drink it. But you'll see we've got 2 barrels of white liquid, and we've got 1 barrel of green liquid. Yes, we have no idea what they are, so we have to drink them, of course. But I'll tell you what they do. Each one is tied to one of the 7 stats. So each of the different primary and secondary colors, and then white for luck. God, I hope that it's melted gummy bears. I mean, that's better than so many of the alternatives, especially for the white liquid. So, white liquid is luck, green liquid is endurance. So generally what I do is I just kind of check everyone's stats and I see who's got the lowest of something, and I will give that to them in order to boost that stat. So everyone's got the same endurance, which means that I'm going to give it to the person with the lowest hit points, which is going to be... Oh, it's still a 3-way tie. Damn! Okay, well, we're going to give it to Debbie because Debbie is a party girl and we know she got high endurance, so there we go. That wasn't enough to affect her hit points, not yet, but it's always a help, and we'll find more of these as we go through the game. So, let's see. White liquid. That's luck. We're going to go ahead and just to be on the safe side, for now at least, we're going to give those to Lucy. Because you know what? Lucy is lucky to have such a loving family. And also she has the disarm trap skill. And then this guy. These are on the other side. Well, you'll see. But this guy. Yep, you'll hear the sweet siren song of enemies shooting at us because they can detect that we're here, but they can't see us. That's because they're just on the other side of this hill. Oh, this is a journeyman mage. He's got a few more hit points. Not many, though, because he's still a journeyman mage. And we all know wizards have the fewest hit points.
That was too easy.
Haha. Now these guys, of course, have very few hit points, and they suck at melee combat, but we still have to be careful because they are mages. Oh, and they'll do that. That was a flame arrow spell, which is their favorite to cast. Yeah, these nerds should have stayed in the library. Thank you. Haha. That was a long ways away, but that was a pretty good shot. Let me see if I can get up this hill. Yes! I'm drawing on the power of Stephanie the Ditch Digger. Oh, come on. There we go. I just wanted to get this one before I forgot he was there. Oh, now see, the edge of the hill is kind of fouling our shots. We have to be careful about that kind of stuff sometimes. Because moving forward is going to give them another attack on us. But we're lucky because, thankfully, our stats are way higher than they should be. And so that means that our AC, our hit points, everything is a little bit higher than it should be thanks to going to the Shrine of the Gods in the last video. I've got to ease my way down this hill because this game is notorious for one thing, if nothing else, and that is how borked the height calculations are. And sometimes you can fall what seems in game terms like 1.5 feet, and you'll take enough damage to almost kill your characters. Alright, guys. Now you'll see kind of what I mean. There's a whole field of these dudes, so we're going to try and mow them down as quickly as we can. I think we're hitting the bank there, so we'll shoot at some of these more visible ones. We want to get them before they get us. Okay, can't get that guy yet. It's just an army. Yeah, it's an army of mages. I actually, sometimes they'll give you sort of an in-game lore reason, like why certain monsters are in an area. It is never explained, so you can see more on the horizon. It's never really explained, like why all of these apprentice wizards are just camped outside of town. Well, our jewels are green, and that's what matters. You'll see that the groups are a little bit spread out. As long as we engage them like one group at a time, things are probably going to be okay. And I'll go back and forth between turn-based and real-time a little bit here because sometimes I need to reposition, and you might as well dodge a spell while you're doing it. But a lot of times I'll just kind of stand and I'll take the hits because I know that they're going to be very low damage anyway. I mean, you can see how little damage we're taking, and that's with no like fire or cold resistance to speak of. Now, because there are so many, you'll see if there's only one target I can hit anyway, or if it's a big target like this guy where he's a second-tier palette swap, I will sometimes push the button really quick. I'm hitting the A button to attack, so that way I can just kind of, like, really fly through my shots. But generally speaking, because we are low level, and because these guys we know can die to a single arrow in a hit, I want to make the most effective use of my shots that I can. And that means waiting to see whether or not a hit lands before I fire the next one, so that way I can potentially kill 4 targets in a turn before anybody on this part of the screen gets a shot. Okay, can't reach that guy yet. Now we'll worry about coming back and picking up all of these bodies later. Yeah, you see why I wasn't really worried. Now, of course, part of this is because, you know, we cheesed just a little bit, and we got some gear that we probably shouldn't really have. But part of it is also just because these guys, they're meant to be high damage but low endurance, and that is exactly what they are. So to us, that translates to, well, basically free cash. I am running around with the arrow keys right now. I actually have my hand off the mouse. I'm using the space button to, or the space bar to pick up bodies, which is the button you use to interact with things. It's just a little bit faster that way, but it is also less precise. I can kind of aim it because I've got experience playing the game, but you have to be careful because you see those chests. I could accidentally open one if I don't use the mouse to precision click. And that means that, you know, I could trigger a trap if I'm not on Lucy, and I'm not. Right now, Zoltan is our active character, because he's got Identify, so since enemies can sometimes not only drop cash, they can also drop items. So, see, right there, perfect timing. That means that they're already in Zoltan's inventory. He's the one picking them up, so I can just right-click to identify them and don't have to worry about transferring them between inventories. Alright. So now, since Lucy's got perception, we're going to have her go around checking for traps and things. That also works with stuff like, see this cook pot you can click on, and it might have food in it. It could have a magic item or a random item of some kind, you never know. Or sometimes it can give you some kind of a permanent bonus. Steaming liquid and magical liquid are similar to like the green and the white liquids. And they can also poison you or give you a disease. If you have the perception skill, that's less likely to happen. You never know. Okay, it's just one food this time. Alright, Lucy, work your magic.
Got it.
Oh, see, when it makes the excited face and says she got it, you can tell that's how you know there was a trap there and she successfully disarmed it. That's how she tells you. Now, of course, if there was a trap there and she unsuccessfully disarmed it or failed to disarm it, well, you'll know. Alright, these potions are great at the beginning of the game. Bronze shield. Okay, that's better than his current shield anyway. And as I identify these things, I am also transferring them to Debbie, so that way, you know, we pick things up with the identify guy, and then once they're identified, we transfer them to the merchant person. So, let's see. Alright, back to Lucy.
Got it.
Alright, that one was trapped as well. See, it's a good thing we put that second rank in there. Thank you, guys. Let's see. I'll go ahead and put this on him. Oh, look at these mages all drop their cheap-ass stabs. They look really cool, but if you read the description, you see it's unremarkable. You know, the ruby at the end is just colored glass. Now, what they gloss over, kind of, I think, is that since this is a medieval setting, colored glass is actually still a luxury good.
Got it.
Alright, another trapped one. One more.
Got it.
I don't know.
Oh, that's a helmet. Alright, well, this helmet's a little bit better than that helmet, so we're going to give it to her. We're going to transfer this one over here to her. Loot for the loot god, yes. Hello, random peasant. Gloria the Bard. Oh, and also here.
Hello.
Recognize this guy? This is Falagar from the opening cinematic. Falagar the Gatemaster. He is the wizard who saved us in Sweetwater on the Night of Falling Stars and trained us for the last 3 years to be adventurers. That is partly why you begin the game in New Sorpagal. You could theoretically start anywhere, but this is where Falagar's house is, so I guess this is where we've been living. Yeah, he doesn't think much of devils. And here's his advice. Hello again, my pupils. I'm afraid there is nothing more I can teach you. Your experiences must guide you from this point on. I know nothing more than you do about the devils that destroyed Sweetwater, but I know who you need to ask. The Oracle in Freehaven will know what to do to rid Enroth of the terrible devils. Unfortunately, you will need the approval of the 6 High Council members, each of which represents one of the Lords of Enroth. You must do whatever necessary to speak to the Oracle in Freehaven and rid Enroth of the devils. So that's kind of our, that's our main quest, loosely speaking, right now. It's not really listed up here, but that's his advice. We've got to do whatever it takes to get the 6 council members to approve of our speaking to the Oracle. Oh boy. This island is a little tougher. Now, we might not be able to get over there right away, and let's aim a little bit more carefully here. See, these guys are doing a little bit more damage. I'm actually going to heal Debbie. If we take out 1 or 2 of these guys here in the front, well, better part of valor and all that. This is where you can see that, you know, those guys hit a little bit harder. They've got lightning bolts and fire bolts and all kinds of bolts. Let's see. So we'll come back to them later. There, Tommy, make yourself useful. The jewel also tells you when a character is active. I don't think I mentioned that in the last stream, where if their jewel is dark like this, it means that they are recovering from their last action and can't do anything else right away. Now, I'm totally into going back and clearing that island out if you guys are into it. You just have to let me know. There we go. Jumping. We're jumping. There we go. Alright. So now we've got just a couple more places that I want to go. First, I mentioned last time, you'll see me occasionally. I've played this game so many times you'd think I would know by heart, and a lot of it really I do. But a lot of it I forget too, and I thought that this was the bridge where you get ambushed. Yeah, Zoltan needs a few more points in body magic, I think. But anyway, we've got another field of enemies that we can clear out right over here. Not on this side. There's a cook fire over there. We can go over there in a minute. But this bridge is where there's like actually an ambush of goblins that's triggered when you cross the bridge. See? Which I always thought was kind of a neat little touch. There we go. Oh.
Got another one.
It's close quarter shooting there.
Hey.
Although sometimes when they miss, they'll get mad. Oh, Let's take out these ranged attackers first, perhaps. Then we'll go for the goblins. Can we? There we go. See, these guys don't have a ranged attack, so I'm just kind of pounding the arrow button to get through to them and take care of them really quick. Once the other ranged attackers are down, there's no reason to be scared of them anymore. Oh, this is the abandoned Temple of Ba that they wanted us to clear out for them. We'll see what they left behind here first. Neither of those were trapped.
Aha!
Remove fear. That could come in handy, you never know. John Van Canningham did scare us a bit. Oh! Aha! That's partly what we were waiting for. Those green numbers? Those mean we have enough experience points to train up a level. We're going to do that here in just a minute. But first, because, see right here, I need 1,701 more experience points to train to level 2. I don't think we're going to get that up here, but we'll get some. And in case it does somehow manage to push us over to another level, I only want to train one time. So what we're going to do... Oh, you hear the oh of the goblins. Oh man, Debbie and Lucy don't care about these goblins. Oh man, Tommy got him one. Nice. Those weapon upgrades are really paying off. Ah, we're surrounded. But not for long. I was very upset as a young bisexual man to have to look at the goblins and feel conflicted about the fact that if you put a bag over their faces from the shoulders down, like, it's really not all bad. I realize that's on record now and out of my head, but, I mean, we're living in 2019, so... Let's see. Here, before we go kill more goblins. Awesome. Hey, check this out. Free leather armor for Debbie.
I don't know. Aha! Aha!
And free chainmail for no one because his is much better. Now this I gave to him. We're going to see really quick. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any difference in stats, so that means we can probably safely just chuck that. There we go. First, give her some armor. It's not much, but it's definitely better than nothing. I think that's the only crate. Yeah. In Might and Magic 7, there's 2 at the end of each of the starting castle thing. Well, that's not important. We'll play that game another time. Oh, boy. And you'll see how the game kind of, like, attacks come sort of from the center of each character's portrait. So this wall was blocking Tommy and Debbie's shots. They couldn't hit that goblin back there. But because Lucy and Zoltan are theoretically standing kind of over here to the right of this, they were able to shoot down the hallway and get him. Alright, this is Goblin Watch. This is that keep that the cleric told us about that was built to protect New Sorpagal from goblin raids. And this is almost a little sad.
How are ya?
Urok. I guess he's the chieftain of the goblins that invaded Goblin Watch or what have you. This is such a lovely, like a well-appointed room. But see, you know, Goblin, you leave. We take castle to watch over humans. You no more kill us. Like, see, it's... there's some racial tensions here that I just... It's, you know, I feel like there's just a big misunderstanding, and if everyone could sit down and talk, they'd realize that goblins aren't that bad, and I'm not just saying that because of what I said a minute ago, so I don't want to hear it. Alright, so, first things first, we're going to go over here And we're going to train up to a new level. So we've got no skill points right now, but
How about some training?
how about some training? Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You'll see down here, they've earned 5 skill points. You get 5 skill points every time you train. As you level up to higher levels, you'll get more. That's so that way your training keeps pace with what level your skills presumably should be around that level. So now up here, you might notice that a week has passed. That's how long it takes to train up to a new level. The reason that I went up there in the hopes that maybe it would push us over to a second level and we'd be able to train to level 3 is because there's a little quirk of training where if you train only a single level, or if you train only a single character and you leave the building, if you go into the screen and come back out, that took a week. Not just now when I click, but like if I go in here and I train someone and I click back out, that takes a week. So you want the whole party to train at the same time to save time, but also it doesn't matter how many levels you train, as long as you only click in there one time and you train as many of them as you qualify for or as many as you can afford before you come back out and exit to the main world. It still only took a week. So if we qualified to train all the way up to level 20 and I went in there and trained all 4 of them to level 20, it would still just take 1 week. Alright, so now we're going to go over here. And we've got 5 skill points to spend. That's the most we've had the whole time. So how should we apportion these, gang? I don't think it's time to get some like new skills, not yet. We've got all the skills we need for the moment, at least. So how are we feeling about the skills that we have? We've got enough to, we could afford to take one of the level 2 skills to rank 3 and have enough left over to rank up one of the rank 1 skills to level 2. Or we could increase 2 rank 1 skills to level 2 and have a point left over for next level. And you do save these. Any skill points that are not spent, you get to keep. That's how you can pile them up, and if something comes out to an odd number, you know. We think an armor this time, since we went with disarm trap last time. We also said Zoltan needed healing magic. Alright, yeah, I'm hearing healing magic. Okay, so, well, let's put a rank in body magic for Zoltan then. And we'll do the same for Tommy. So that way both of their healing goes up just a little bit. Now, of course, the more ranks in a magic skill you have, some spells get more powerful based on your ranks. They'll use it as a multiplier or an additive or whatever. Some of them, the main thing that you need to do here is you have to have 4 ranks to be an expert and 7 or 10 ranks to be a master, and that determines what spells you can learn. Alright, let's do some armor as well. Armor is great, especially because most armor skills, it adds directly to your AC. So if we put a point in his AC, or in his leather armor, his AC is just going to go up by 1, which is great. And we can do the same thing for Zoltan over here too. Let's see. We have to decide if we want shield or chain, though. Shield ramps up a lot quicker, but chain has other effects because, see, chain armor slows you down. So I think I'm going to put this in... Yeah, I'm going to put this in chain because that way we can get to expert a little bit quicker and we can reduce that recovery penalty. You saw every time he cast a healing spell how long it was taking him to recover. It's because his armor's dragging him down. Similarly for her... Let's see, we want to reduce that because she's not wearing plate yet, but when she gets some plate here, hopefully very soon, it's going to slow her down a lot. And since she's our heavy hitter, now we've got 3 points left. We could go ahead and put that in bow, plate again, or disarm trap, or we could use it to do something like razor sword skill. What do you guys think? I will say repair is probably not necessary right now because nothing's breaking our shit. Perception, on the other hand, that could be useful. Sword. Sword is good because most attack skills, you'll see the basic level skill just directly adds to your attack bonus. Alright, sword. And Debbie, where are you? So we've got leather for her, merchant, diplomacy, dagger. We said armor, so we'll go ahead and put a rank in leather for her. That leaves her with 3. Put a rank in dagger. We can put a rank in water magic. I'd really like to get water magic like kind of ramped up pretty soon, but I'll leave it up to you guys. Everything's useful. Everything on here is useful. You know, if we can get her to 4 ranks in dagger, she can start dual wielding. If we get her to, you know, if we put more points in merchant, we're going to be saving and making a lot more money and spending a lot less money. If we put it in fire water magic, we can learn more spells. Water magic, that's fine. If we get water magic up, you know, we can learn town portal ourselves, and Sharon can stop stealing 20% of our cash. All right, water magic going once. Oh, I see. We want to keep Sharon, so we've got to vote for dagger. Well, dual wielding daggers is fun. Okay, we like Sharon's part of the family, kind of. I like her. I like her too. All right, well, we'll put it in dagger for now. There's always a chance to do this later. All right, now we need to go sell all of this crap. All of these garbage items need to get out of our inventory immediately, if not sooner.
For a weapon?
No, but you might be looking for a weapon, and boy howdy do I have weapons to sell you. Let's see. I think I already checked this.
Come again.
Don't touch the merchandise.
I was kind of hoping, I sincerely doubted it, but I was hoping that maybe he might have a suit of plate mail, but...
Come back soon.
Let's see. It is 9:30 in the morning, so Wilma should be open. Let's go to the Seeing Eye. Go. All right. You have any accessories that might be useful? Boots are always useful. A fancy hat of defense. Armor class +3. She doesn't really have a lot. It is a pretty good hat. Yeah, it actually... I think it looks better here than when you put it on, because here it's kind of rolled up at the side and it's like a musketeer hat. If you put it on them, if I'm not mistaken, and I may be misremembering this, or it may be one of the other games in the series, I think when you actually equip the hat, for some reason the rolled brim is in the front instead of at the side, which is not as good of a look. So... Okay.
The magic of fire, air, water, and earth.
Yup. Alright, now here's something that we need to do. These are skills that we'll need to pick up later, so, you know, of course we can start leveling them. You can see they're divine casters. They're not going to learn anything here. But Tommy and Debbie can learn more magic. I think, honestly, that it's time that one of them learned air magic, because I'm really missing that wizard eye spell, and once we get it, once I cast that spell for the first time, you guys will immediately see why it's so great. Yeah, it's a new age retro hippie. So... who should start out with air magic? He's got body magic. He's focusing on healing kind of right now. He's got some earth. So he's got earth covered. She's doing fire and water. Air magic is your flight, lightning bolts, haste, that kind of thing. Oh man, I love the invisibility spell. They did not add that until Might Magic 7 though, unfortunately. Such a good spell. You can cheese so much of the game with invisibility. But I'd like to pick up air magic before we go do any more adventuring. So what do you guys think? Debbie or Tommy? Lucy cannot learn it, no, because she is a paladin. And so you'll see here, it's just like with any of the other guilds. The list of skills that you can see that's available is based on your class. So they can still buy spells here for the other two to use, because it's a shop as well as a guild, but they can't learn anything. Debbie can learn, these are the other 2 elemental magics that she doesn't have. These are the 3 elemental magics that he doesn't have because he starts with 1 elemental magic and 1 divine magic. Tommy's been good. Do we want to give Tommy air magic? Well, he could start earning his keep at the very least. Now, eventually, probably, everyone will have every magic skill that they can potentially learn and will master them all, but right now, all we're concerned about is basically the Wizard Eye spell, so I'm happy with letting Tommy learn it if you guys are. Oh, you'll also see a small price difference up here. It's 75 less for her to learn. It's because she's got the merchant skill, so that actually affects skill costs as well. Alright, air magic for Tommy, going once, going twice. Alright, sold. Now let's actually buy that spell. Flame Arrow, Cold Beam, Magic Arrow, Stun, Wizard Eye, there it is. Anything else good? Protection from fire. If she had more ranks in fire magic, that would actually be useful because it affects the whole party. And, of course, that would work really well against those goblins throwing fireballs on us, but we'll come back to that. Alright, Tommy?
Okay.
Alright. Air magic. I love that sound effect. Okay, so what Wizard Eye does is it points out creatures on the auto map in real time. So you can see we are looking at this peasant is this dot, and you can see her moving back and forth. Green dots are peaceful targets or friendly targets. Red are hostile targets. And yellow dots are actually bodies that you can loot of enemies that you've killed. At higher levels, it will also show on dungeon maps, secret doors or hidden chests will appear as a bright blue line, and things like items on the ground will show up as dark blue triangles. So now, we're going to go over the hill, through the woods, presumably. Remember that army of mages? Well, these are their friends. And you can see up here, they are not our friends. So yeah, on the other side of New Sorpagal is apparently an army of goblins for some reason. And so we're going to clear this field out too, because this is going to be quite a bit of XP for us at this low level. And as you can see, I mean, it's not like it's a challenge. Like, what? Like it's hard? Goblins are still like a 2-arrow kind of ordeal, I think. We don't want those injured ones running away too far where we have to chase them, so...
Got that one.
Yes, you did. If we see any blue ones, we've got to take them out first because those are the ones that can shoot firebolts.
Hey.
Oh, we let some sneak up on us. Sorry, Lucy. She doesn't have her plate armor on her. That probably wouldn't have hurt her. Well, there we go. That's that for that group of goblins. But there are a few more. Let's go up here and let's take out this Goblin King first. There we go.
Hey.
Oh, there's a shaman. And the last little green guy. Come on. There we go. Alright, our jewels are green. We're already on Zoltan, so we'll grab this stuff. And we didn't quite make level 3 from that. That's alright. We've got to be close, though. Even though goblins aren't worth enough, like, or worth a lot, there's quite a few of them here, so... This is where I should probably superimpose some kind of, like, lo-fi chill remix of Let the Bodies Hit the Floor over the video.
Got it.
Oh, that was trapped. Hey, see? I did the right thing by not buying that shield earlier. Because there it is for free. That is a decent mace, too, but actually, I'm pretty sure the dark hammer he's currently has equipped is better. Oh. That is magic chainmail. It's crappy chainmail, but it is still magic, but it's not as good as what he has. So it doesn't matter. Let's make sure Lucy's checked.
Got it.
Alright.
I don't know. Aha!
The goblin cutlass.
I don't know. Ah.
Oh, there's that harm spell I mentioned way back at the beginning.
Got it.
Every one of these was trapped. But at least we know, like one of you asked earlier, like, who just traps a chest in a field? And the answer is, there were an enormous number of wizards in that field with the chest who probably didn't want us to get into it, and I'd say it was them.
Hello.
Oh, ancient weapons expert. We'll come back to that. Maria the Noble is wandering around. There's another island we're not going to go into until much later. As is tradition with many RPGs, this being the starting game area, over there on that island is one of the highest level endgame dungeons in Might and Magic 6. So we will have to come back here later for that. Okay. Now let's see how her damage changes. Plus 14, 16 to 22. Okay, so that one is better. I thought so, but I wanted to be certain. Now, you might be asking why Lucy is carrying all the alchemy stuff when we've already established that Debbie is party mom. It's because we gave her the merchant skill, and I want to make sure she's got room in her inventory to carry all this crap until we can sell it. But don't worry, we'll get there. Oh yeah, I wanted to check this ring and see if it's magic. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. It could be, but we'll see. Now this again. Okay, yeah, it's not as good as his hammer. This, on the other hand, absolutely better. Alright. Let's see. How close did we get? Ooh, less than 1,000. Very close. Where am I going? Now, because he only has, like, one rank in air magic, you'll see Wizard Eye's already worn off. There's the little eye indicator that shows that it's on or not. I think, actually, let's see. No, okay, it's just a flat 1 hour per point of skill, so as his skill in air magic goes up, the spell will last longer and it won't be as big of a deal. Yes, aha. Aha. Hit points restored.
Looking for a weapon?
No, but I've got a deal for you. Thank you, Kane.
Come again.
Thank you, Canely. That's Kane the blacksmith. Stay a while and
Don't
shop.
touch the merchandise. Come back soon.
Harry the armorsmith. Yeah, you look hairy.
Can I help you find anything?
Let's see. And this, okay, yeah, she's only going to give us 192 for it. That's a pretty good indicator that it's not magical, because any enchantment, even the crappiest little like +1 water resistance or something, would jump that up to at least a couple hundred more than what it is. So we're probably safe.
Thanks. Come again.
Okay. Now, there's a couple houses we haven't been into over on that side, and they're like expert magic teachers or expert skill teachers for a few of the basic skills, like here, fire magic and so forth, that you can get in New Sorpagal. That's to make sure that you can you gain access to some of these important skills at expert level fairly early on in the game, especially things like, see, body magic. We want to make sure that you have access to that, because some of those spells, they get really, really good with just the changeover to expert. This is the last shop we haven't actually been in, though.
The magic of spirit, mind, and body.
And so You can see Florence Welch over here is going to sell us mind magic or body magic, whatever. This is the Guild of the Self is the opposite, or the reverse of the Guild of the Elements. They sell all 3 of the divine magics and none of the elemental magics, so, like, Debbie can't learn anything here. Now, Tommy can, because he's a druid. But we'll also see, you know, you can come here for healing, touch, spirit arrow, precision, lucky day, bless, blah, 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 blah. We've been having some fun, but even though there's been a little bit of action, I kind of feel like this stream is lacking. I'm not sure if I should go on, or because I've already been like an hour and 45 minutes, I should probably quit. So I'm going to go ahead and call it time, I think. But before I do, there is one last thing that I want to do. And I'm going to pitch this out to you guys in the stream over here in the chat. So at this point, there's a couple places here in New Sorpagal on this map that we could go, like this little island we found over here on the other end of the mage army. We could hop across there, buy a scroll of water walk, and clean that island out of like some of those slightly higher level mages and goblins. We might have to run back and forth a little bit or heal at the fountain, but we could do it. And there's a couple more chests over there as well, I think. That's something to think about. But really, we're at the point where we need to start kind of putting our nose to the grindstone on some of these quest objectives. So, right now, we're prepped and ready to go, I think, into an actual dungeon. So, we've got 2 right here where we've got quests for both of them. We've got Goblin Watch, where they promised us 2,000 gold to find the combination to that lock that the goblins had changed. And of course there's more going on there. And then we've got the Abandoned Temple of Ba, where Andover Potbellow wanted us to recover that candelabra, and also Buford T. Allman wanted us to kill the Spider Queen, and Ms. Dawson was concerned that her daughter Violet had wandered into this temple and had gotten lost. So our choice is between a dungeon with tougher enemies but fewer quests. That means that we're looking at probably more cash overall and more treasure chests and things because there are humanoid enemies here. But as far as we know right now, there's only one quest that we can complete if we go inside. If we go to the Abandoned Temple, there's at least 3 quests that we can complete all at the same time. But the enemies that we're looking at are things like rats, bats, and spiders, which are going to be lower experience points. And so that means we'll level up faster in Goblin Watch from the enemies, but we're looking at much bigger quest rewards and more reputation gains over here in the Chapel of Ba. So I'm going to put it out to you guys. Which one would you like to see me do? Okay, looking at Goblin Watch. We're kind of leaning that way. And I'm fine to go either way. And you know that these guys are good with whatever. Alright, we'll go where there be goblins. Then, let's see. It is just after noon. They've got full hit points and spell points. We've cleared out the inventory. So, I'm going to leave it right here. And when I come back next week, same time, we'll start with Goblin Watch. We'll go straight in and we'll find out what's going on the inside of this keep behind this very sinister door. So, I'm going to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being in the stream. I really appreciate it. It's always great when you guys come around. Well, I say it's always great. I mean, this is the second stream, but still, I'm thrilled that I'm seeing returning faces and even some new people. It's awesome. So, again, if you haven't subscribed or followed, please do that here on Twitch and, turn on notifications. If you are watching this after I upload it on YouTube, give me a like and a follow here if you enjoy it. Check out the playlist to see the first video. And you can also find links underneath to all of my social media, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. You can follow my Twitter account to get any updates about upcoming streams and so forth. And I'll also invite you guys to stick around if you're interested and check out some of the other streamers that I'm hosting when I'm offline here on my Twitch channel, like Slay09, like Gnome Bitten, Ty Tuesday, and some others like that. They're all great. So until next time, remember, Saturdays at about 7-ish Eastern Time, I'll be on here playing some more Might and Magic 6, and I'll see you guys then.